What's going on, guys? Ryan Williams, AFC, back with another match reaction. Arsenal go through to the next round, taking on Bournemouth away after beating Leeds. And boy, and first of all, before we get into it, I want to apologise. I didn't actually get to put out the match preview for this video. And obviously, I had some prior issues, of course, I had to sort out. But listen, the video's here now, the match reaction, and boy, let's talk about it. What can I say? A game of two halves. We've been saying a lot about Arsenal, of course, under Mikel Arteta. It has been impressive. Do you know what I mean? And the first half, let's talk about it. It wasn't great. Very slow, poor, and just not progressive enough. Do you know what I mean? Leeds were excellent. They were literally not letting us get out and try and do anything. If, better yet, the commentators were even saying, some of the pundits were even saying that who looked like the Premier League side. Leagues look like the Premier League side. We look like the Championship side. And the funny thing is, they are top of the league right now in the Championship. And if we play like that against them, if they get promoted and win it, oh boy, I'll tell you that now. But in the second half, we were able to turn it around. I'm sure Mikel Arteta got in their faces. Lacazette did say that in his interview, of course. And listen, we switched it up. We literally went at them. If you saw the stats at the end of the first half, it was absolutely poor. I think Leeds had about 13 shots and we had 3. Awful. Or something like that. They had 15 or 13. It was awful. In the second half, they had about... No, that's it. We had 5. They had 3 in the second half. We had 13 shots. And it was better. It was better. And we ended the game a lot better, a lot more comfortable. And to be honest, it was very rough and tugged. Like, you know, a lot of tackles going in, and Xhaka was making a lot of tackles. He was getting away with a lot of shit. Let's be real. But, you know, lucky he didn't get sent off. He even get booked, funnily enough. Not to my recollection anyways. But in the end, Reiss Nelson was able to pick up a chance. And he made a very good run from Pepe, literally getting the ball. And I felt he come to light in this game, Pepe. I felt he was really starting to show a little bit more confidence, where Pepe would just usually be on the wing and, you know, think about trying to twist up a player and literally try go start running. But, you know, once he's actually getting forward to the ball now, he's actually picking it up and trying to actually create passes and that. And he did that. Once he picked up the ball, and he actually did well, because he was actually getting tackled and getting dragged down by one of the Leeds players, sorry. But in the end, he picked it up, squared the ball to Lacazette. Lacazette squared it into the box. One of the Leeds defenders slid in, clipped the ball, and Reiss Nelson was able to get a nick off the ball and then come off the keeper, really, and went in the back of the net. One of them lucky goals. But regardless of that, that's a good moment for Reiss Nelson, of course, being the winning goal. And literally, Arsenal after that. Hey, listen, Leeds did have a few chances, but nothing really concrete. And we look like the Arsenal that we've been seeing for the last couple matches, against Chelsea in the first half particularly, and against Manchester United in the full 90 minutes. So how do we take this going forward? Take it positive. Again, you know, it's still going to take time. I think the players are already now starting to have to listen to Mikel Arteta. As I go back to referencing the interview and match of the day, where Reiss Nelson talks about, you know, the interviewer, in fact, actually asked Reiss Nelson, how do you feel the change from the first half to the second half, the contrast of the game? He even said it himself. He felt like some of the players, or the whole team, in fact, felt like maybe they didn't really take the game too seriously, you know, as in Leeds being a division lower than us. But again, you can't take your opposition lightly. That old saying. And of course, like I said it before, Leeds, they're primed to be in the Premier League next season if they can carry on what they're doing in the Championship. So again, we can't be taking any sides lightly, regardless of how poor. We already seen that earlier in this season against the sides like Watford. Do you know what I'm saying? Where we were 2-0 up and then, listen, at the end of the game, it was 2-2. Do you know what I mean? So, again, we need to build on from this. It's another clean sheet, which is good. Emi Martinez, I felt, was moving like Bert Leno at times, and I think he made a tremendous save, and I don't feel a lot of people give him much credit for it. There was one tremendous save where I actually thought it was in the back of the net, and he literally, I think it was from a header, and he literally just knocked it back out of the post. It almost looked like Seaman. I think it was against Southampton back in the day. Almost like that. Not exactly like that, but almost like that. Just the way he just knocked it back out. But regardless of that, good game for him. And for me, the only standout player, don't know, man. It was a bit. I know Match of the Day gave Lacazette man of the match, and I did think Lacazette, as the captain, did step it up in the second half. He was kind of getting frustrated, and when a lot of players were getting tackled in there, and he was first there. Do you know what I mean? He was first there, and there was time where I think there was a chance where he actually could have got sent off for violent conduct. There was a lot of that this game. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, there was a lot of tackles. It was gritty, like an old school football game, as the saying is. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of tackles in that game. But regardless of that, we got the job done. And like I said, going back to the standout player, I'd probably go with Socrates, I know that sounds like an odd one, probably say Nelson, etc. But I'd probably say Socrates, because Socrates did start to step up in the second half. He was like making all the tackles, all the right tackles. And yeah, man, I gotta say he played good, man. He played good. Holding, on the other hand, let's go through the team. In fact, I feel that's a lot better. So we already talked about Martinez. We went with a back three, of course. So let's talk about Holding as well. I felt Holding was kind of forcing it today. It was his first start under Mikel Arteta, and you know what? Again, we haven't really seen much of him because he's been in and out with injury. But he's come in, and again, like I said, it just felt like it was forcing it. It was giving the ball away a lot. There was one time where he actually tried to play out from the back where Leeds look almost depleted, and there was a chance where literally he kind of got lucky getting past. But again, is that down to confidence? Because, when you look at the situation where how Rob Holding got injured, he was actually making a run. And of course, he had a collision with Marcus Rashford, and then that's how his injury worked. I hope that's not in his head anymore. But again, he kind of sloppy with that. He almost lost the ball. And even in the first half, how could I forget? Because that was in the second half. In the first half, there was a chance where literally he gave the ball away. He looked like he wanted to give Jim Guendouzi the ball, and it was nowhere near him. And on top of that, the Leeds player literally took the ball, ran in. Luckily enough, he squared it, and Rob Holding was able to make the challenge to even knock it out for a corner. So he did redeem himself in the end. He wasn't poor completely, but I just felt like he was probably the weaker one in the defence today. David Luiz, he was in and out. I felt there was a chance where he pretty much ran from the right back position all the way into the centre forward position, but not even the centre forward position, the cam, like literally before the D. And to me, he looked like he blew out of steam there. But at the same time, he just ran himself into a circle. You just got to know when to release the ball. Nelson was really making the run, and then they obviously didn't give him the ball in time, and it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, boy, but other than that, I think he had a decent game. He made vital tackles as well. Yeah, man, he did okay. Midfield, Granit Xhaka had an indifferent game. I thought he played well. He wasn't the best player on the pitch, but he wasn't the worst player on the pitch. And I think in the second half, he really stepped it up because it was a little bit slow as well in the second half. But he was really showing force. He had a couple runs as well. He actually tried to force the run and get forward as well. And I kind of wish he took that free kick at the end, because David Luiz, I felt he kind of wasted it. We even the technique he even tried to use by the dip which is always hard to get. I felt he kind of leaned back on that, but I felt Xhaka should have took that free kick because you know the shot power that Granit Xhaka possesses. But regardless of that, it is what it is. Xhaka, yeah, he had an alright game. Guendouzi, I felt, had a different game. I felt like he tried a lot. He was winning a lot of fouls as well. There was a lot of moany moments, but that's just him as a young player. He'll get over that eventually. But in the second half, again, he really stepped up. There was even times where he was even trying to create a break for a lot of players. And yeah, man, he did okay. Mesut Ozil pretty much shut it out in the second half. Well, in the first half, sorry. They were pressing him again. Like, we couldn't really move in the first half. All the players tried. They were sluggish. They were poor. Let's have it right. We weren't playing well when he weren't really moving about or couldn't really get off his defender. Then what could we do? You know what I'm saying? So, but in the second half, you know, again, we came out with the intensity, and he was definitely in and around on the ball. Definitely improved that stat where it said he had the least touches on the pitch. And what we took in contrast, and when we talked about the Manchester United game, when he was the player with the most touches between both teams. So very, very different contrasts in teams there and stats. But however you look at it, it is what it is. So he came off for Joe Willock, who was alright. He was in and around, but nothing. Didn't really do anything too spectacular. But he was alright. Joe Willock did okay when he came on. Let's see. Nicolas Pepe, confident, looked alive in the game. Definitely in the second half. Yeah, man. It was, again, like I said, all the players just kind of showed up in the second half. I think they underestimated Leeds there. They thought that, like I said, Reece Nelson kind of refer back to that interview. Reece Nelson kind of said maybe the players kind of just felt like, you know, we were just gonna go out there and just win. No, even the pundit said that. Do you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But other than that, Lacazette, he had a good game. Didn't score, had a lot of chances though. But again, as the captain, I think he did a really good job. And Nelson getting the goal, very outstanding for him. You know, he kept trying, he kept pushing, and I saw a lot of that in the second half. And he's going to keep getting these chances, and I hope for Nelson he can really take advantage of these chances. And then Gabriel Martinelli coming to light in the second half, was putting a lot of defenders around here and there. And yeah, man, I think he had an impressive performance also. But if I had to rate this game, and this is something I'm going to do now, I'm going to rate the game and rate the manager, which I feel is alright. If I had to rate the game as an Arsenal performance, I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. And the only reason I'll give it a 6 because that first half was shocking. But again, give credit to Leeds. They pinned us back. They pinned us. They were the more clinical side. Well, they weren't really clinical. Let's be real. If they were, we probably would have been out of it within the first half. But if they wasn't, they just wasn't sharp enough. But it is what it is. And then in the second half, of course, you know, I felt we could have got more goals, but I felt like, you know, I didn't really feel what we stepped off the gas a little bit. But by then, Leeds, I felt, you know, maybe they ran out of steam. And plus, you know, it's not really much of a priority for them to have the FA Cup when they want to concentrate and get in the league. So it is what it is. But Mikel Arteta, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10 because personally, he tried to tell the players, and I'm only giving him an 8 because I felt he should have probably just shouted at them in the first half and said, "Listen, like before you come out the game, like listen, I don't want no bullshit, etc., etc." And then maybe we could have given Leeds more of a fight in the first half. But second half, I don't know what he said to them, but it looked like a better Arsenal out there. So guys, again, stay tuned for the match preview where we go away against Crystal Palace. And of course, just wrapping up the FA Cup talk, we go through to the next round against Bournemouth. That'll be in a couple of weeks' time. And yeah, so guys, again, let me apologize for not bringing out the preview. I do apologize for that. And of course, make sure you keep subscribing, keep checking out the content. Leave your comments in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Ryan Williams, AFC. Peace out, guys.